Just in time for Halloween, here are my top 10 scariest games ever. I'm going to be doing something a little bit unique for this list. I'm not ranking these games on how scary they are for me today. I'm ranking them on how scary they were the first time through. Since fear is more effective when it's based on the unknown, playing through a horror game more than once causes it to lose a little bit of its tension. So here's a song that makes me think about you.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
Number 10 is a game that not many people played as a kid, but that I had a horrible experience with. See, there was this game called Demon's Crest that my dad would never let me play. He'd hide it on a shelf or something, claiming that it was too adult for me. Well, little did I know. Well, one day I ended up with the opportunity to play it, and I almost immediately regretted my decision. The first screen of this game gave me nightmares for weeks. Mind you, I was like 6 at the time, but that goddamn dragon! I will never forget the fear that coursed through my veins the first time I played it. But going back to it, it's actually a pretty solid game. Silent Hill 2. Now this game is legendary for its twist on psychological horror, and deservedly so. There's some fucked up shit in this game. There's Pyramid Head, toilets that like to scream at you, and even Pyramid Head getting jiggy with some mannequins. But more terrifying than all of that put together is the sinister, horrible, evil draw distance. But in all seriousness, this game is creepy as all hell, and I hate playing it because it creeps me out. One word says it all: atmosphere. Not many developers up to this point had this idea down, but Dead Space passed this test with flying colors. This eerie, dimly lit, evil space expedition onto the Ishimura was a whole new world to gamers when this game dropped back in the 2008. It was damn scary. And the necromorphs jumping at you at every turn helped a little bit with the fear factor.
That's the dessert right there.
These are lubber grasshoppers.
Oh my.
I know this entry is a bit of a cop-out, but I'll be the first one to admit, the first time I played Slender, it scared the shit out of me, if only for a little bit. I really didn't understand why people were afraid to play it, but after playing it a few times, it does lose its luster and kinda becomes a game of cat and mouse. Except the mouse is a turtle because you move so goddamn slow! Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem is very special in that it messes with you like no other game had before it. You could just be sitting there playing, having a good old time when... What? What is this shit? This isn't a computer! I'm not running no operating system! I'm playing Eternal Darkness! So yeah, there's a sanity meter in the game that fucks with you. Everything from your character's head falling off to the game muting itself. That, my friends, is absolutely terrifying. This is one of the first horror games to intentionally break the fourth wall, and it did so in a way that gave me a very uneasy feeling as a kid, and it stuck with me all these years. Now I know what you're thinking. BioShock? That's not scary, you wuss. Well, hear me out. Going into the game not knowing anything about it, it can be pretty damn scary. Rapture is very mysterious and extremely eerie. You never know what's gonna happen next. Horribly disfigured psychopaths chasing you at every turn, demonic little girls, and giant metal Goliaths. When you think about it, this game has a lot of elements of horror games. It must have resonated with me, because now it's my favorite game ever. Dark Souls, while not meant to be a horror game, is truly terrifying. Going into it with no outside knowledge is one of the biggest mistakes anyone can ever make. With instant deaths and super hard enemies, Dark Souls kicks your ass up and down the street. If that's not enough to scare you, every single person that invades your world will seal the deal. Most people tend to think that SCP Containment Breach is the superior and scarier of the SCP games, but nay, I say. SCP-087-B, otherwise known as the Scary Stairway Simulator, is downright horrifying. It's so simple in concept. You go downstairs. But for what? A party? Well, it doesn't matter because I'm actually still afraid to play it today. I mean, I will, but I really don't like to. Okay, this entry won't make much sense unless I preface it. A Nuzlocke challenge is a challenge in a Pokemon game where 2 rules are enforced. Number 1, if a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and must be released immediately. Number 2, you can only catch the first Pokemon you see on each route, and if it faints, you're kinda fucked. These 2 rules may seem simple, but it creates a sense of dread for every encounter with every Pokemon. It's recommended to nickname your Pokemon to get more attached, so it hurts that much more when they die. It may not seem that scary, but until you try it, you have no idea how horrifying it can be. And my number 1 scariest game ever is Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now I know it's everybody's number 1, but hear me out. This game, when I first played it, scared the living shit out of me. Just the idea of skulking around an abandoned castle is creepy enough for me, but being chased by monsters with no hope of defending yourself was what truly horrified me as the player. Hiding from the gatherers was, and still is, one of my most nerve-wracking experiences ever. But on the bright side, the enemy's nipples are showing. So maybe they just want to nurse you. Maybe their nipples have been dry. We don't know. And that's what's so damn scary. We don't know! And those are my top 10 scariest games. If you liked the video, give it a like rating. If you didn't, post in the comments and tell me what I could have done better. I appreciate any feedback you can give me, and that's about all I have to say. Happy Halloween, guys!